Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus, here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is the start of the week, Monday the 20th of November 2017. Let's have a look at what's making the start of the week's news. So to start off with, in The Guardian, security services, after an internal review, an internal review into recent UK terror attacks, has concluded that they could not really have been stopped. This is a review basically by the government, internally, and overseen by an independent barrister, basically looking at what the security services knew, the intelligence they had before the Westminster Bridge, Manchester Arena, London Bridge and Finsbury Park attacks, and how the intelligence was handled and how it was actioned upon to try and prevent attacks from happening. Now, the conclusion said that they could not have been stopped. The security services couldn't have done really anything more than what they did in terms of stopping the attack. However, the review will recommend closer collaboration between MI5, the internal security services, and the police, and suggest a new computer algorithm for picking up behaviour of would-be terrorists. So that's in The Guardian today. Very interesting story. Pick up one of those if you're interested in finding out more. Next up, now this isn't really in the papers because it came through pretty much this evening, or rather yesterday evening, yesterday night, when the papers had already gone to print. This is to do what's happening in Germany. Really significant stuff for European politics. Chancellor Angela Merkel, efforts to forge a three-way coalition have failed, plunging the country into a political crisis. So the pro-business Free Democrats, the FDP party, said that there were irreconcilable differences and unexpectedly pulled out after weeks of negotiations for this Jamaica coalition, this three-way coalition between Merkel's party, the FDP, and the Green Party of Germany. Now, this was following, of course, the election on the 24th of September, which Merkel did surprisingly poorly in, meaning she could not command a majority for herself in the federal government. Merkel's options now, however, turn out to be, well, she could hold a new election and try and go for a majority this time round, however likely or unlikely that might be, or she could try and form a minority government. Neither options are particularly risk-free for the Chancellor, so it could be a complete knife edge for her in the next few days, next few weeks, next few months. Let's look in focus, though, at the main story, and as you can see, it was pretty much peppering all of the newspapers' front pages today. This is what's going on in Zimbabwe. President Mugabe is facing impeachment after he shocked the country, and indeed the international onlookers, by saying that the Zimbabwe should move forward instead of offering his resignation in a speech yesterday evening. Now, she was expected to resign. It had been widely reported he should have resigned, but the party have set him a deadline of 10 o'clock GMT today to resign, to hand in his resignation as leader of the country. This, however, from his speech yesterday, looks unlikely. He'd been meeting with army generals and there'd apparently been some kind of agreement that he was going to step down. That obviously didn't happen. He's been dismissed as the leader of the ZANU-PF party, which is the leading party. He's under house arrest, and Emerson Mnangagwa, his deputy, who was sacked about 2 weeks ago, has been named the ZANU-PF's new leader. Despite all of that, the president still is not relinquishing power. So really interesting stuff going on there in Zimbabwe. Check out your international news feeds if you want to find out more. And finally, in the FT, although this again is in a lot of papers today, May set to secure cabinet support for higher Brexit divorce bill offer. Now, this higher Brexit divorce bill is about 40 billion euros, so a massive increase, about double the amount which initially was offered in the Florence speech, which was about 20 billion pounds. Now, this is to try and move the negotiations onto trade. However, Theresa May has to convince what's been called the EU Exit and Trade Cabinet Subcommittee. Now, they're meeting today to go through this proposition. On there, as well as Remainers like Amber Rudd and Philip Hammond, or also the Brexiteers such as David Davis, Liam Fox, Boris Johnson and Michael Gove. Theresa May is going to have to win them over to this high divorce bill in order to take it to Donald Tusk, the President of the European Council, when they meet on Friday, and hopefully then to move talks along. That's still very much an unknown. That will be coming out later on today. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on our brand new shiny Core Politics on our Facebook page and on Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have yourself a fantastic start to your week.